Hey there, language learners. Today, I'm going to help you understand the difference between fairly and rather with some fun cartoons. Let's start with fairly. Fairly means moderately, and it's mainly used with positive adjectives and adverbs. For example, if I say, Tom is fairly clever, it means Tom is quite smart. Or I walk fairly fast, which means I walk at a decent speed. Fairly gives a positive touch to the description. Now let's switch to rather. Rather also means moderately, but we use it with negative adjectives and adverbs. For instance, Peter is rather stupid, which means Peter isn't very smart. Or Anne walks rather slowly, meaning Anne's walking pace is quite slow. Rather adds a negative spin to the statement. But wait, there's more. Both fairly and rather can be used with participles. For example, he was fairly relaxed, suggests he was quite at ease, while she was rather tense, indicates she was quite stressed. When it comes to using these words with nouns, the indefinite article a comes before fairly, like in a fairly light box. But with rather, it can go before or after, like a rather heavy box, or rather a heavy box. Here's a fun twist. With adjectives and adverbs that are neutral, like fast, slow, hot, or cold, you can express approval with fairly and disapproval with rather. This soup is fairly hot, means you like it that way, while this soup is rather hot, means it's a bit too spicy for your taste. Rather can also be used before words like alike, like, similar, different, and comparatives. It then means a little or slightly. For example, Siamese cats are rather like dogs, or the weather was rather worse than I expected. Interestingly, rather can sometimes mean very when used with positive adjectives like amusing, clever, good, or pretty. So, she is rather clever is almost like saying she is very clever. This usage is more complimentary than fairly. And finally, rather can also be used with verbs like enjoy, like, or even dislike. For instance, I rather like the smell of petrol, or he rather enjoys queuing. So remember, use fairly for positive vibes and rather for negative or neutral tones. Keep practicing, and soon you'll be using these words like a pro. Thanks for watching and happy learning.